Welcome back to Crisco's Corner, unfiltered commentary, not your truth, the real truth. And as always, thank you for your support. Hi folks, welcome back. From the post-millennial, you'll love this one. China's 2022 Olympic Games are a ratings disaster, down 43% from 2018 game. And I'm going to throw in, and this as well. Yeah, that's the first time I ever did a 3 for a sound effect. The drop in views set a record low for the network since MSNBC Universal began broadcasting in 1988 when Ronald Reagan was president. Oh, let's read on. This is so good. I'll tell you the truth. Since that Kaepernick stuff a couple of years ago, I love football. I've always loved football. I'll watch some college, but I have not seen an NFL game. I did see maybe on and off, maybe 5 minutes here and there when I was at my daughter's house a few weeks ago in Virginia Beach because it was on. I'll watch college, but as far as NFL goes, I have not watched more than 5 minutes of a game. I haven't seen any of the playoff games, and I've seen zero of the Super Bowl. And I will not watch this year's Super Bowl until the NFL gets off that woke bullshit. Play the game. You want to protest? Do it somewhere else. Do it somewhere else. Every employer I ever worked for did not ever allow me to protest while I was working. Ever. And then to have a multi-millionaire, in some cases hundreds of millions of dollars, non-white person tell everybody what a crap hole country we live in and how racist we are while they get into their $200,000 car and go to their $20 million mansion and bitch the whole time that this country sucks. If irony were a disease, half the people in this country would be wiped out. Let's read on. NBC has suffered a huge blow to its ratings as only 16 million viewers turned in to watch the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics opening ceremony, down from 28.3 million. Oh, here we go. The drop in views set a record low for the network since MSNBC Universal began broadcasting the games in 1988. According to Variety, the total audience delivery, or TAD, of 16 million viewers is down 43%. That is not a typo compared to previous games. Oh, amazing. It truly is. The games, which occurred at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic last time, Beijing's numbers were worse than that. As was the case with previous broadcasts, the torchlighting ceremony was aired live. I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. NBC's numbers are expected to struggle as the network grapples with the challenges of bringing viewers to what some viewers dubbed the Genocide Olympics on account of China's human rights abuses against the Uyghur minority group in the Xinjiang Autonomous Region, with many stating their intent to boycott the proceedings. Now, I think I can make the case that China's done a lot worse than just genocide against the Uyghurs. People they've captured, kidnapped, brought into prostitution for their leaders. Just the misery and pain that they've caused this country. I can make a case the fentanyl and other drugs brought in from China into this country that have killed tens of thousands of Americans every week. That is much bigger than the genocide against the Uyghurs. And how many lives have they destroyed? How does that song go? The saying in the song, life goes on long after the thrill of living is gone. When everything you've had for generations, especially in the Midwest and the Rust Belt and manufacturing, 2 or 3 generations, you lived a good life, you played by the rules, married, had kids, worked in your community, developed friendships, built your communities up, schools, sporting events, neighbor helping neighbor, all gone. And China didn't do it by itself. They were sold out. The American people were sold out by our own politicians in Washington. 99% of the Democrat Party and 50% of the Republican Party. And I'm a Republican, former Democrat, elected in upstate New York in the early 2000s. I was a city councilman as a Democrat. Republicans aren't so clean either, but they're not nearly as dirty as the Democrats are. And they let it happen, and they watched it happen. There's old clips of Donald Trump on talk shows. Oprah, I'm talking about from years ago, 70s and 80s. He complained about how Japan is screwing us, sucking up our jobs, taking our way of life away from us, and slowly but surely, we allowed China to do it. Trump complained about that for years. And in fact, the clip where he complains about how Japan is screwing us and nobody's doing anything, Oprah asked him if he was going to run. This sounds like presidential talk. And he said, if I saw ever the country getting so bad that I had to run for president. And that was almost 40 years ago. So don't give me this. He's a egotist. He's been sounding the alarm for this for decades. And at the same time, mind you, the people that call him racist now are giving him awards at dinners and public gatherings for his work with minority people and against human rights abuses and rights for people in general. And all of a sudden now, he's the Antichrist. NBC Universal is contracted to broadcast 2,800 hours. Oh, my God. That's what we should do to maybe some of the people in Guantanamo. Make them watch 2,800 hours of the Beijing Winter Olympics. But, probably the International, what's that board for Human Rights Commission, probably somebody in the UN would call it cruel and inhuman treatment. Coverage across multiple platforms, including all of his major broadcasts, streaming, phone app properties, and so on. Now, here's the part that really got me. This is what absolutely gutless wonders that we have, not just in the U.S., but around the world. Numerous countries, including U.S., India, Australia, and Canada, are holding so-called diplomatic boycotts of the Olympics over the human rights abuses. But no major country has had the balls, I love how this guy wrote this, had the balls to pull out their athletes, making the boycotts an exercise in virtue signaling as athletes donning American sports brands continue to grace China's stadiums for like imported prostitutes at a Chinese strip club. And there you have it, folks. There you have it. A diplomatic boycott. We're not going to send over a whole bunch of diplomats from around the world. And Chinese are probably going, great. Saves us a crap load of people. We're going to have to follow these people around. Thanks for saving us some money on security, because they would have escorts everywhere they went. Everywhere they went. Very similar to North Korea. So the Chinese are going, thank God. And thank God none of them would probably got hurt. It'd be a diplomatic incident. And now they don't have to be around to deal with their sorry asses. And so there it is. Is it because it's China? No. Because the people are more and more seeing that this is a joke and the hypocrisies are off the hook. China's brand wasn't that great with the American people prior to the pandemic. And China's brand certainly took a dump during the pandemic. Meanwhile, many of our politicians in Washington and at the state level as well are lining their pockets. Colleges are getting hundreds of millions of dollars from Chinese as they slowly infiltrate our university system and our state and local governments and now national. Chinese have lined the pockets of the Biden family for centuries, almost said centuries. He's old enough. Decades. Tens of millions of dollars. Yeah, what do you hear from the mainstream media? Crickets. People are fed up. And people vote with their wallets and people vote with their feet. We are now seeing the results of that. So I don't care if their ratings are in the toilet. I hope NBC and all them lose hundreds of millions. I don't care. They deserve it. I feel bad for some of the athletes that have worked their whole lives to get to this point, but unfortunately they're caught in the middle of this. And there are some athletes who just complain just asses. Instead of representing their country, they're making it about politics. It's about the sport. But the vast majority of athletes are there for the sport and the competition. And I feel bad for them. It'll be a great life lesson for them, even though it'll be heartbreaking. Enough of my gabbing. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.